I have been fascinated by the variations in human and animal behavior from a very early age, keenly observing and pondering on their behavioral activities. This piece, however, would be devoted to human behavior, especially of those who either behave naturally or pretentiously. The caption of this piece, Addition of New Terminology in Behavioral Psychology, is an outcome of sustained objective observations of several subjects by the writer. The terms introversion and extroversion were popularized through the work of Carl Jung and later became central parts of other prominent theories, including the Big Five theory of personality. Introverted people tend to be inward-turning, or focused more on internal thoughts, feelings and moods rather than seeking out external stimulation. Introverts tend to be more quiet, reserved, and introspective. Everyone has some degree of both introversion and extroversion. However, people often tend to lean one way or the other. Introverts are laced with the following subtraits, which are somewhat different than those of the cocoon dwellers. Very self-aware. Thoughtful. Enjoy understanding details. Interested in self-knowledge and self-understanding. Tend to keep emotions private. Quiet and reserved in large groups or around unfamiliar people. More sociable and gregarious around people they know well. Learn well through observation. Tend to be around people to whom they are close. Cheek, a psychology professor at Wellesley College, argues that there are 4 shades of introversion: social, thinking, anxious, and restrained. And many introverts are a mix of all 4 types, rather than demonstrating one type over the others. Social introversion closely matches the commonly held beliefs about introversion, in that it's a preference for socializing with small groups instead of large ones or with no groups at all. Solitude is preferred by those who score high in social introversion. They prefer to stay home busy doing something of interest or stick to a small group of close friends. Thinking. People with high levels of thinking introversion are not averse to social events. Instead, they're introspective, thoughtful, and self-reflective. Not in a neurotic way, but in an imaginative and creative way. Restrained/reserved, such introverts seem to operate at a slightly slower pace, preferring to think before they speak or act. Haruki Murakami, in his What I Talk About When I Talk About Running, which contains a passage that neatly illustrates the concept of a restrained/reserved introversion. In it, he discusses how it takes his muscles a while to warm up when he starts to run. When I put on my jogging shoes in the morning and set out, my feet are so heavy it feels like I'll never get them moving. Anxious. Unlike social introverts, anxious introverts generally seek out solitude, for they are overly self-conscious and feel awkward around other people. Their anxiety, however, doesn't fade when they're all alone. They're usually not very confident in their own social skills. Such people might be suffering from a tendency to ruminate. Cocoon dwellers, insecure and overly self-conscious. Defensive, due to a lack of self-esteem. Think they know and fully understand everything, including themselves. Pretend to be very social even with unfamiliar people when accompanied by a friend, often opinionated, critical and negative about others. Try to control the behavior of close friends through vague suggestions or couched instructions. Some are routine Janus-faced, one for the public, other for themselves. Note, cocoon dwellers, most often, are suffering from psychological issues, hence may not be clubbed with the above 4 classes of introverts. An anxious introvert, however, seems to be on his way to being a cocoon dweller. Self-styled introverts are generally more empathic, interpersonally connected than his/her outgoing counterparts. They are normally self-controlled and rationally balanced. They could also be classed as inverted extroverts, who can change sides as and when needed. https://shakir2.wordpress.com/2019/11/18/camouflaged narcissist in our ranks/ comment/feedback/like/share/follow. Shakir2.wordpress.com